ahead on 12 News Weekend, Election Day draws near. We'll take you to Crystal, where not one, not two, but 3 council seats are up for grabs. Plus, a prestigious honor for a local school superintendent. She's credited with helping to turn around a school district. But first, coming soon, a new look, a new slogan, and perhaps a new way of experiencing a city. 12 News Weekend starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us on 12 News Weekend. Brooklyn Park will soon have a whole new look. The city is implementing a rebranding campaign. As Sonia Goins explains, the idea is to show off the very best of Brooklyn Park.
I think a lot of people think that it's just kind of a sketchy place, I guess.
That's not what city officials want people to think when they hear the name Brooklyn Park.
If you drive through it, you know it's not.
Last year, the city hired a public relations firm to help improve its image.
We're trying to get people to come back, take a second look at us, look at things, how things have changed.
This was the former theme for Brooklyn Park, and this is the new slogan: unique, united, and undiscovered.
I like it because there's a lot in Brooklyn Park. There's a lot of things that's going on that people don't know about.
I guess. I like it.
The city also wants to show off its diverse population.
Our city looks like what the U.S. will look like in 20 years, so we're actually ahead of everyone else. And so we're trying to be trendsetters.
And speaking about undiscovered, some residents say there are a lot of hidden gems.
I think just the different variety of parks, and it's really all over the city too, so it's not just kind of in one area.
Yeah, there's a lot of variety in the restaurants. There's all sorts of different types of food you can eat.
The logo is also getting a new look. The new version is bold and modern, but it might take some getting used to.
I don't know, I like the old one.
You like the old one? How come?
Maybe because I'm used to it.
I probably prefer the old one.
How come?
Just because I'm used to it.
The logo could be transformed onto T-shirts and the water tower.
I think it's good. It's like really big, the name, so that it's a lot easier to see what it is.
City leaders met this morning to talk about implementing the plan. They say they're going to start small by making changes to letterhead. City leaders say they've got a lot to be proud of, so they don't feel too bad about tooting their own horn.
We're known nationally for how we do things, and so we think that is worth bragging about in some ways.
In Brooklyn Park, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
The rebranding campaign cost about $150,000. Well, the election is just over a week away, but many people have already voted. This is the first general election where Minnesotans can vote early without an excuse. Across the state, nearly 70,000 ballots have been turned in. That's 65% more than the last midterm election. A political expert says it changes the way political races are run.
Now you have to start thinking about the fact that 45 days before the election, people can start to go to vote. So that makes it more challenging because you've got a message. You got to be able to make sure that as people who are early voting, they have the message that you want them to think about as they're going to vote.
David Schultz says it remains to be seen whether early voting will actually improve voter turnout. As Election Day draws closer, candidates are making a final push to get out the vote. That's especially true in Crystal, where 3 city council seats are up for grabs.
I want to thank the League of Women Voters for organizing this forum tonight.
Thursday night at Crystal City Hall,
my wife and I chose to make our home here in Crystal, and we love this city.
A mixture of familiar faces.
I've been on the council for 19 years. I'm the old senior dog.
Well, I feel I'm doing the work of the citizens, and I want to continue to do that.
And new political hopefuls.
I got into this because my neighbors asked me to.
When the opportunity came up to run this time, I was encouraged by some of my neighbors to give it a shot, and so here I am.
Gathered for a candidate forum moderated by the local chapter of the League of Women Voters.
Doesn't make any sense.
For the incumbents, their reasons for seeking re-election centered on the theme of unfinished business.
There's always unfinished business. Every year, the main job for us is to come in with a balanced budget.
We have a brand new building that we're trying to finance, and we haven't completely decided how to finance it yet.
Yet for the hopefuls, their reasons centered around a different theme.
That people kind of have this general feeling that they're not being listened to and that they don't have the right opportunity to participate in their government.
This is the narrative I hear everywhere, is that people are not really being listened to, they're not really being heard.
The incumbent's response:
I probably don't average 2 phone calls a month.
I'm not receiving any calls, so I don't know if there's a problem out there unless I receive that call.
Meantime, the challengers say the primary election results are a key indicator of the voters' feelings toward their city government. The current council says not so fast.
Well, I don't make a lot out of it. We had 3 people running for the one position, so you're going to have a split vote.
You know, it was a substantial difference, but, you know, it's a whole new ballgame when we come to the main election year.
If you want to hear more about where the different candidates stand on the issues, you can find a link to the entire Crystal Candidate Forum on our website, 12.tv. Well, in our week in review, a lengthy debate in Golden Valley left things up in the air on the city's building moratorium. Golden Valley has a 6-month moratorium on new single-family subdivisions. It was put in place to address concerns about developing green space and changing the character of neighborhoods. This past week, the City Council considered expanding the moratorium to subdivision applications that have not yet received preliminary approval. A final decision could come in November. Water bills in Crystal, New Hope, and Golden Valley are going up slightly to fund an emergency water supply system. The 3 cities got their water through Minneapolis and the Mississippi River, but if something happened to that water source, there's no backup supply. As a result, construction is currently taking place on Brunswick Avenue in Crystal, where crews are building a well. Construction will also take place to build wells in New Hope and in Golden Valley. And the owner of Surly Brewing tells 12 News that the company's new destination brewery in Minneapolis will open in December. It's actually bittersweet news for Surly fans. The December opening also means the end of Surly's Brooklyn Center taproom, which closes this weekend. Surly will still use the Brooklyn Center facility to make specialty beers. A local school leader lands a prestigious award. Sandra Lewandowski was named Minnesota Superintendent of the Year. She does not oversee a traditional K-12 system. Instead, she leads District 287, which works to help students with special needs. Here's Mike Johnson.
Good morning. Hi there.
Sandra Lewandowski is in her 10th year as superintendent of Intermediate School District 287.
What you see here is our largest facility, our largest school.
She oversees an $80 million budget in a district that focuses on students who might otherwise drop out of regular K-12 schools.
We have really worked hard to change some of our instructional practices, become much more innovative and tailored to meet the needs of our students and those needs of our member districts.
One school board member credits Lewandowski for saving the district from going out of business a few years ago.
We might have been facing extinction because we did not have, I think, a solid base and mission.
She guided strategic planning tied closer to the needs of students, like a literacy program for high school students and other efforts focused on closing the achievement gap.
Oftentimes, kids are seen in the achievement gap are seen as kids who can't be successful. That's not at all what I see.
Lewandowski says with the right support, they can be successful.
For me, it represents the best job in the world.
Sandra was honored by the Minnesota Association of School Administrators. Well, coming up on 12 News Weekend, a big decision for homeowners. When's the right time to pay off your mortgage? Some things to consider next. Then later in sports, 3 local soccer teams are headed to the state semifinals. But first, temperatures remain in the 60s on Monday, then it turns much cooler. A new beer hall and restaurant will open in Golden Valley at the site of a former Godfather's Pizza on Olson Memorial Highway. New Bohemia plans to open in December. It would be the restaurant's second location. The other is in northeast Minneapolis. New Bohemia specializes in sausages and craft beer. It was recently voted Best German Restaurant by City Pages. For many Americans, new home expenses now exceed health care costs. That is one reason why some people pay off their mortgage before retirement. But is that wise? Eric Nelson has some answers in this weekend in Money Savers.
There's something great about being debt-free.
To pay or not to pay? It is a question many face when deciding if they should pay off their mortgage before retirement.
For some people, it's absolutely black and white based on their situation. For other people, it really depends on what their priorities are.
The great American dream of owning a house can be a financial windfall for some, but not for others.
It just frees up so much cash flow.
Elijah Kovar of Great Waters Financial has some tips for those who want to pay off their house early. He says get rid of credit card debt first because those cards have higher interest rates. Do not use IRA money because you lose tax benefits. And don't tap into rainy day savings because stormy days are inevitable.
And one thing I'm certain about is it's going to rain, so it's important to have that money there.
If you are going to pay off your mortgage before retirement, probably the biggest advantage is this. You will get peace of mind.
Keeps you confidently and comfortably retired. That's the name of the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Artie Johnson and her husband did just that.
I think it was probably one of the best decisions I ever made in my life.
And for them, the early payoff was a bold stroke of genius.
What that has given my husband and I is the ultimate sense of freedom. Freedom to make choices, freedom to do what we really want to do with our money.
My happily retired clients, they're proud. They have their mortgage paid off. They're debt-free. They don't have to worry about their payment.
It allows us to have money to work with.
Johnson now has time to volunteer and do what she chooses.
Instead of having to be working, I'll have time to be giving back.
The financial shackles of a house payment are gone.
It's a sense of knowing that whatever we've got is truly ours and not just on loan to us.
For Money Savers, I'm Eric Nelson, Channel 12 News.
If you do pay off your mortgage before retiring, be sure to check into potential tax benefits or liabilities. Well, still ahead, a Maple Grove restaurant manager's good reason to shave his head. But first, Osseo and Maple Grove play a thriller in the volleyball playoffs. That's coming up in sports with Jay Wilcox. Welcome back. Jay Wilcox joins us now with sports, and there's exciting postseason play all around, but we'll start off with some soccer.
That's right. Great seasons for more than one local team here, and they're playing into the last week of the season, so hard to beat that. The Wayzata boys soccer team has enjoyed a very strong season, and the Trojans made the most of their state tournament opener. Wayzata meeting Rochester John Marshall in the AA quarterfinals. First half, John Marshall's Ashton Nauman rips a shot, and it just misses the far post, and the game stays scoreless. Later in the first, Wayzata's Jason Lehman to Arthur Perrins for the quick shot, but the Rockets' Ben Kellner makes a great stop, and this one's scoreless at halftime. But that changes a minute into the second half. The Trojans' Clayton Smith crosses the ball. It's off Clay Elmore, and Perrins follows up to bury it. Wayzata goes up 1-0. 3 minutes later, it's Perrins again, and check out his footwork. He beats the tackle of one defender, dribbles around another before putting the ball off of Kellner and in, and the Trojans go on top 2-0. Wayzata seals it as Ethan Took cuts his dribble back and finds Elmore for the goal. Wayzata wins it 3-0. They face top seed Eastridge in the semifinals Tuesday at 11 a.m. at St. Cloud State. The Maple Grove boys entered the state tournament undefeated, and they still are after a quarterfinal win. They faced upset-minded Rosemount in that quarterfinal round. Maple Grove controls the first half off the Trevor Gift throw-in. The Carson Thomas header deflects again in front and goes just wide. But Garrett Maupin's corner kick is on target. Kevin Hoof with the header for the goal. Maple Grove scores with just over a minute left in the first half. Second half, and Gift throws it short to Maupin, who sends the pass ahead where Daniel Cortez deflects it in with his upper body. Maple Grove takes a 2-0 win in this one. They meet Anoka in the semifinals Tuesday morning at 9 at St. Cloud State. Park Center's girls soccer team is in the state tournament for the very first time. Park Center facing Albert Lee in the Class A quarterfinals. The Pirates get a lot of chances. Josie Pay's pass is deflected by Abby Arsenault, but goalkeeper Catherine Flaherty just keeps it out. And Molly Monson sends it ahead to Cassie Hemming, and she makes a great move past the defenders, fires the shot, but Flaherty's diving stop keeps it 0-0. But right before halftime, after a corner kick, Jill Rosby's shot seems like a slow roller, but it gets through the defense and Flaherty. Park Center grabs the lead 25 seconds before halftime. The Pirates win 1-0, and they face Orono in the semifinals Wednesday at St. Cloud State. Park Center's football team finished 4-4 in the regular season, and they look good in their playoff opener. The Pirates facing the Fridley Tigers in Section 6-4A. Lawrence Ogunti hands off to Rondé Berry, and he gets in easily. Park Center leads it 7-0 after one quarter. In the second, Park Center in punt formation, but Amani Hooker fakes it instead. He makes a great cut here, gets back across the middle, and he is gone. It's a 73-yard touchdown run for Hooker, and it's 14-7 Pirates at halftime. And they add to that lead in the second half. Motion man Adam Burge takes the shovel pass and he gets around the left end to score. This one makes it 21-0 PC. Park Center rolls to a 35-0 win, their first playoff victory since 2006, and they're facing top seed De La Salle Saturday night. The volleyball playoffs are underway, and rivals Osseo and Maple Grove played a great match in the quarterfinals in Section 5 3A. Second set at set point for Maple Grove after they won the first set. Paige Aspinwall with a quick set to Lauren Bright, and she knocks it home. The Crimson looking for the upset. The Orioles, though, take the third set, and then in the fourth, Shia Sanders gets a big block, and the Orioles jump out to a 15-9 lead. But the Crimson retake the momentum. They get 15 of the next 20 points, capped off by this one from Haley Valencia. That puts Maple Grove up 24-20. They're 1 point away from ending the match. But the Orioles rally back to tie the set at 24. Christina Bowe gets the kill here, and Osseo wins that fourth set 27-25. After a back-and-forth battle in the fifth, Osseo completes the comeback as Sanders puts it away down the line. The Orioles win in a 5-set classic. They take it 15-12 in the fifth. And that was just the quarterfinals. What are the semis and finals going to be like? A great match.
Oh, the rivalry just grows between those two teams.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Jay.
You bet.
Yep. Well, up next, say goodbye to your hair. A restaurant manager's good reason to sport the dome look. Finally, a hairy day at Three Squares Restaurant in Maple Grove. General Manager Tim Walker promised to get a total buzz cut if Three Squares could raise $1,000 for Locks of Love. It's a charity that helps kids 21 and under who have diseases that cause hair loss. The goal was met Friday, and with mom, dad, and coworkers laughing along, Walker delivered on his promise.
Raised $1,000 just at this location alone. We had our Baldwin Free Day on last Tuesday, and had a lot of fun with it. A lot of guests coming in with their chrome domes, and we had a good time.
There are 8 restaurants in the Twin Cities that participated in the fundraising event, and it doesn't look like he didn't look that bad necessarily with the
I think that was the before picture, though. I think there was more to go there.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Could you ever do the bald look?
I might be doing it not by choice before long here, but
exactly.
no, a great cause though, and a great job by him.
All right, well, that's all the news for now. Thanks for joining us.
Have a great weekend. We'll see you again Monday at 4 o'clock.